Tua Tagovailoa and Joe Burrow were both highly successful SEC quarterbacks selected in the top 5 of the NFL draft, but other than that, they really couldn't be more different. Burrow has dominated the league from day one and has one-of-a-kind QB traits, while Tua has been subpar and looks like he has no tools to be a successful NFL quarterback. Except that's not true. It's just what we've been trained to believe. So let me tell you the real story. For Tuanon or Tua stans or Tuaneers, whatever you want to call the group of fans that still deeply believe in Tua Tagovailoa's ability to be a successful NFL quarterback, the one thing this offseason that they've been able to hold their hats on is Josh Allen. Mainly because Allen was a pedestrian quarterback his first 2 years until he caught fire his third season. And many Tua backers hope that Tua Tagovailoa can do the same thing now that he's entering his third year. But I think this is a flawed comparison. This opinion is really only rooted in one thing, and that is time in the league. There aren't really any other similarities between Josh Allen and Tua, not in skill set or situation. So this comparison doesn't really hold much weight in my eyes. I think people often focus too much on years of experience when trying to predict when a QB is going to break out and take a leap, but I think a much bigger catalyst to a quarterback breaking out and realizing their full potential is a change in their situation. And that could come at any time during a quarterback's career. And it could be a wide variety of things. Adding a dominant offensive piece, getting a new head coach, or changing teams entirely. I think the common denominator for quarterbacks that take large steps forward is a change in their surrounding environment, as opposed to just another year in the league. So although it's tempting to want to use Josh Allen's rise as a blueprint for Tua because Allen came alive his third year and Tua is entering his third season, that's not the comparison that fits best in my opinion. And in fact, I think far too many people are overlooking another QB that provides the perfect blueprint for Tua to have a breakout season, and that QB is Joe Burrow. There's not nearly as much talk about the Joe Burrow Leap as there was about Josh Allen's, mostly because many fans still think Burrow's rookie season was a lot better than it actually was. Not saying it was bad by any stretch, but he was significantly better in his sophomore campaign. In fact, in 2021, Burrow's passer rating jumped almost 20 points. He threw for 20 more yards per game. His yards per attempt went from 6.7 to 8.9, and his completion percentage jumped 5 whole percentage points. It was a meteoric rise, to say the least. So how could I possibly think Tua Tagovailoa can make that sort of jump? Well, let me explain. Let's rewind to their pre-NFL days and revisit exactly what these two players brought to the table as prospects. Here I put up scouting reports for both these quarterbacks, and here are a list of their strengths. Now, I'm not going to tell you who is who. I'm going to have you try to guess. The first quarterback, we'll call him quarterback A. The list of strengths that they have are accurate passer, thrives as a pocket passer, pocket presence, doesn't panic when the first read is covered, good instincts, aggressive passer, willing to push the ball downfield, precision thrower, and throws a very good deep ball. Quarterback B's strengths are accurate passer, tremendous pocket composure, excellent decision maker, fits passes into tight windows, superb ball placement, throws a very catchable ball, and can throw receivers open. So let me reveal quarterback A was Tua Tagovailoa and quarterback B was Joe Burrow. Now, you might have guessed that, you might not, but the point of it was just to show how similar the strengths are for these two players. And if I did the same thing for weaknesses, you could see the same similarities. I won't do that because all Tua's scouting reports have his injury history as a weakness, so it's kind of obvious. But both guys also were known for having kind of weaker arms and having a loaded supporting cast around them that might have elevated some of their production. And beyond just scouting reports, we can also see in the 2020 NFL Draft article written by Tim Dix that Tua and Burrow both had below average arm strength but extremely quick releases. We don't see players this comparable very often. And so far during their time in the NFL, we've seen both these guys showcase their incredible accuracy and pocket mobility, and we've also seen their below average arm strength limit the things they can do at times. Tua and Burrow have eerily similar strengths and weaknesses. This is a much more reasonable comparison than Tua and Josh Allen. But if these guys are so similar, then why has their production been so different? Well, their landing spots have greatly determined how much success they've had to date. Burrow has been in a more favorable situation, but that only happened very recently. This past year, in fact. The year Burrow took his leap, and that is not a coincidence. Before last season, Tua and Burrow were in pretty similar situations and honestly had pretty similar results. In fact, the Dolphins seem to be just 1 year behind the Bengals, and let me show you what I mean by that. So if we ignore time in the league, because like I said, the situation is more important, and we just look at their supporting cast and compare Tua's supporting cast last year to Burrow's supporting cast 2020, we see Burrow was a 23-year-old quarterback who played behind a dreadful offensive line and missed a chunk of time because of it, and had only one true playmaker at wide receiver who was only a rookie. In 2021, Tua was a 23-year-old quarterback playing behind a dreadful offensive line, missed a chunk of time due to injury because of it, and had only one true playmaker at wide receiver who was only a rookie. Tua's 2021 situation and Burrow's 2020 situation are extremely similar. And it doesn't stop there, let's compare their numbers too. You can see how similar they really are, from completions, attempts, completion percentage, yards, all the way to passer rating and yards per attempt. I'd say the only noticeable difference was interceptions, and Tua has had a higher turnover-worthy play percentage than Burrow, which could hurt his chances of taking a leap. But you could argue that this is mainly a result of Tua having just a slightly longer adjustment period to a lesser supporting cast. But regardless, it's kind of wild how close these two performed and how close their supporting casts were. Now let's compare this year. Let's see what Burrow had around him during his 2021 breakout year and compare it to Tua has around him now. Before Burrow's breakout year, he came into the season as a 24-year-old quarterback, and the Bengals just recently added a star wide receiver to pair with their promising rookie. And before Tua's 24-year-old season this year, the Dolphins just added a star receiver to pair with their already promising rookie. And again, for those who are saying it was Burrow's second season in the NFL and this will be Tua's third season in the NFL, I respond with that doesn't matter. The situation change is what led to Joe Burrow's leap, not the time in the league. And it'll be the situation change that will lead to Tua's leap. I truly have never seen two QBs that are this comparable. From the skill set to the situation, honestly, the only difference is the Dolphins are 1 year behind the Bengals. And now they look exactly like the type of team and young QB combo that could be primed to have a similar type of breakout. But for whatever reason, the media has latched themselves onto Burrow and the Bengals while simultaneously writing off Tua and the Dolphins, and I just flat out disagree with that. I think there are many signs that point to Tua having a Joe Burrow leap in 2022. And look, no one knows what's going to happen. Of course, this is not a guarantee. Not every QB will pan out. In fact, most of them fail. And a year from now, Tua could be quarterbacking another team. There are still so many unknowns right now. But one thing we do know for sure is this will be the very first time since Tua entered the league that he actually has a competent supporting cast around him. So in my opinion, if there was ever a time to feel hopeful about Tua Tagovailoa, it will be right here and right now.